Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a TBR video, and this is going to be a very tentative TBR because I don't really want to focus too much on a TBR this month because I am just getting out of my reading slump and I don't want to overload myself with books that I feel like I am forcing myself to read. So that's why I hesitated a little bit with the TBR this month, but it is October, it is going to be Halloween, and I do have a few spooky-ish books that I want to get to, so I decided to do this. I have 5 books that I want to read this month that I'm going to share with you guys right now. 3 of the 5 books that I want to read are Halloween appropriate books, but 2 of them are some high fantasy novels that I'm very excited about. First book is Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Christie trilogy. Six of Crows came out a few days ago. My copy is supposed to arrive tomorrow, apparently, so I'm very excited. I wanted to try to read the whole trilogy before Six of Crows came out. Didn't get a chance to do that, so I'm hoping to read the book this month, maybe read Ruin and Rising and then move on to Six of Crows, but like I said, I'm not trying to force myself into anything. I am reading this. I haven't gotten very far because I haven't been doing much reading lately, and it's not because of my slump. I'm actually good on that, guys. Like, I do want to read, but I haven't been able to read much because I am planning out my NaNoWriMo story, which I will make a video about that eventually, but I'm really enjoying it right now. I think I'm only about 50 pages in, so I'm not that much into the story yet, but I mean, it's Leigh Bardugo. The second high fantasy novel that I want to get to this month is a book that is going to be released next week. Some of you guys might already know about it because I had a really difficult time shutting up about this book for a few months. Ice Like Fire by Sara Raasch. This is going to be the second book in the Snow Like Ashes trilogy. I think it's going to be a trilogy. Snow Like Ashes was one of my favorite books of last year and I really liked it. I am so looking forward to reading the second book. I already have it pre-ordered. I do want to try to reread Snow Like Ashes. I have about a week and a half to decide whether or not I want to reread the book or not, but I really do want to. Hopefully I'll get a chance to. Now moving on to the Halloween-ish spooky reads. The first is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. This was the first Agatha Christie novel I ever read. I had to read it for my French class in high school. And this is one that I already read, so I already know who the culprit is and kind of a lot of like the main points of the story I remember, but I still want to go back and reread this and kind of find the little hints about what happened. If you guys have not read any Agatha Christie novels, I highly recommend them, especially if you're a fan of mystery. She's kind of like the queen of mystery novels. This one is about 10 strangers who are gathered in this island by a mysterious person, and somehow each one of them ends up dying in the process, and you're trying to find out who is killing off these people, why were they all gathered in this island, like what is going on, and it's a really fantastic novel. Highly recommend it. I do plan to reread it this month. Another book that I want to get into is not necessarily a frightening read. I'm a scaredy cat, so I don't really read very scary novels. To be honest, I don't even watch scary movies. I can't even tolerate scary trailers when they come out on TV or on freaking YouTube all the time. In October, they have trailers for scary movies that you can't skip in the beginning of videos, and it stresses me out. I say all that to say the next book I read is not necessarily frightening, but it has a kind of slightly spooky-ish aspect to it. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I've had this book for a while now. I think it's time. It's time for me to read it. I don't want to look at the synopsis because I already have an idea of what it is, but from what I've gathered from everybody that loves the series, I always notice that they don't try to give you too much information about what's going on in the story. So I'd rather go into this kind of completely blind as to what's going to happen and what this is really about. I know the gist of it, but I'd rather just dive into it without really knowing much about the story. So I think that's what I'm going to do with this book. But I'm very excited to finally read it. And last but not least is a book that originally I thought was going to be very spooky, but I've heard a lot of people say that it made them cry a lot. I've heard so many great things about it, and I've been waiting all year for October so I can finally read this, and that book is A Monster Calls by Ness. This is another book that I have some idea of what it's about, but I kind of want to dive into it without really knowing much about the plot. So that's kind of why I'm not telling you guys a synopsis, because I don't want to know a synopsis for this really. I just kind of want to dive into it. It's a relatively short book as well. By the way, this hardcover version, I got it on Book Outlet months ago. It was in one of my hauls, but it is beautiful. This is what it looks like without the jacket, which the jacket is already beautiful, but then this is what it looks like without the jacket. And then the end pages are freaking beautiful, and then inside there's art that accompanies the story. Let me try to find one that's okay, like, and the illustrations are amazing. I'm very, very excited to finally get to this. And that is it for my TBR for this month. I do have a couple other books that I kind of have in the back burner, sort of, that I really want to try to get to this month. But like I said, I'm just coming out of my slump. I don't want to overwhelm myself and make reading become a chore, or even worse, like homework. I think that's like one of the worst things that you can do when you're just getting out of slump, or when you're in a slump. And I was very, very guilty of that these past few months, and that might have been one of the reasons why my slump did last a little bit longer than it should have. But one book that I am definitely getting to this month is Eyes Like Fire. I'm so excited about it. If you guys haven't read Snow Like Ashes yet, please do. Seriously, one of my favorite books of last year. I am so happy that the second book is about to come out. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do for another year until the last book. So that was it for this video. Please let me know what books you guys are reading this month. And yeah, that'll be it for now. I will see you guys next time. Bye guys. This is going to be my wrap-up video, and I am very, very happy because I feel like I finally broke out of my slump.